All right, so you got to let this stuff out. And for the most part, I'm talking to the men. And this is probably one of them transparent posts that people will probably tell me, man, don't put this on TikTok, don't put this on Facebook, don't put this nowhere. So here's the thing. A couple days ago, like, I'm going to be honest, like, I just broke. I had a moment where I don't know if anybody has been in this situation where, like, just the weight, like, life's weight, like, just, bills and paying things and doing all this sort of stuff, just, it got me to a point, man, where I just couldn't take it. And I'm not talking about in like a dangerous sort of way. It was heavy, man. And I just broke. And it was a lot going on. So, like, one thing, I've been dealing with loss, a couple major losses in the family. It hit me that as far as my mother's side, I was literally probably like the oldest male in the family at this point, barring some, second, third cousins. But immediate family, I'm literally like the oldest male in the family. That hit me. It hit me, I got two kids in college. You know, I won't even say no more about that. Anybody trying to put kids through college know what that's like. Between loans and, just honestly never knowing how much you actually owe. The accounting in college is almost horrific. It's a guess every semester about what you owe. And then when they finally figure it out, they expect you to pay that money like immediately, or you got a limited amount of time, or the payment plans are almost like a mortgage every month. It's almost laughable that these institutions think people got this kind of money laying around. So I dealt with that of, trying to figure out, man, do I ask somebody, do I borrow it? Do I try and take out another loan? It was a lot. And, just trying to honestly just be a man or just head a household. And that's for anybody who's head a household. If you just head a household, just trying to, that pressure, trying to make things work. So you got to let this stuff out. You got to tell people what's going on. You got to have somebody. And like for some people, like they really may feel like they have nobody. So I wasn't going to put this out because, people kind of talk about this stuff like it's taboo. It's like, hey, don't be on social media telling everybody your business and blah, blah, blah. And I just kind of looked at it as like, well, it's not really telling my business, but I know there's a lot of people out there that don't have people to talk to. Like for me, as an example, I talk to my dad. So I thank goodness I still got my father around. I know a lot of people don't have that option of a parent to talk to. But you got to let this stuff out, man. And like when I tell you, like, that's probably the first time, like, being transparent, it's probably the first time I cried in a minute. But it was just everything. I thought about everything. Like, I thought about the loss. I thought about, just, the amount of people that counted on me to win and, succeed and figure it out and all this sort of stuff. It was just a lot. I mean, but it wasn't like something that happened like immediate. I think I just got to a point, it was just literally like a slow drip in a cup. And, the stuff that was happening may sound like minuscule or trivial, but it just got to a point where it was like, it was just one more thing. And, it was just a lot. So this post is video, what have you, really is more about finding your outlet, man. If you got to cry, cry. If you got to drive to a mountain, you got to drive somewhere and just scream for 5 minutes, you got to let this stuff out. Because I promise you, like, I mean, my nights probably the last year maybe. I mean, 2025 has been wild. I hadn't slept a lot, and I didn't know why. I would just be up. And people, I know it's always cliche, man. People say, oh, don't worry about it. You'll figure it out. And that's always 9 times out of 10, that's probably true. But sometimes people just don't know where to go. Like, especially if it's financial, like really, like especially for a man, you know how hard it is for a man to say he needs help. Like, if you've never been in that situation as a man, if a man comes to you and said, I need help financially, trust me, he's got to a point where he's at his wit's end. And, that for a man, that's hard. And I'm not talking about people, men that abuse that and just go to that as like a first option. I'm talking about the men who really, honestly and truly been trying to figure this out and they got no other way. So, and it's hard for men in particular because, you know, men don't really connect with a lot of people. You know, men usually keep their circle small. Men don't tell everybody everything because, you know, once that, you know, if you catch a man in a vulnerable state and that vulnerability is exposed, that's probably the last time that man will ever tell somebody anything. And it may not even be you. It'd just be like, nah, I did that and I got burned big time. So just be careful. You know, this post, again, is for people who just going through something. Let it out. Try and find somebody to talk to. You know, if you got to, you know, call one of them hotlines, you know, that talk about mental health, because I'm telling you, man, this stuff will drive you crazy. So I'm not going to drag this out. Hopefully, y'all felt me on this one. If you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate it. If you didn't, you caught the first couple seconds, I appreciate it as well. If you skimmed through, I appreciate it as well. But, you know, if you know anybody, man, you know, share this one, comment, like it, you know, let's get the word out because there's too many people leaving unnecessarily just because they felt the pressure and they felt like they had nobody to turn to. So y'all be blessed, man. Peace.